Hi, welcome to my channel. I've lost 180 pounds with keto, carnivore, and counting calories. Don't forget to check the description to this video. I have links to some of my popular videos, a link to my Amazon account for a lot of things that you all ask about. Don't forget I have a bunch of playlists on the homepage of this channel. Thank you. I've been watching Lori FNM Lifestyle, and she had her freezer. Her freezer went bad. And, it broke down. And so she's having to do all this meal prep. Well, one of the things she did was meatballs. I have never personally done meatballs before. My sister came to town one time and brought her boys. And I watched her make meatballs. And I like how she cooked them a little bit so then they could store them in the freezer. And so that's what I'm about to do right now. I'm going to cook them a little bit so then we can house them in the freezer. But in order to do that, just a second, we got to change to grams. And I'm kind of doing my own thing as far as what I'm putting in it. I'm going to put in some pork panko. So I zeroed it out with it on there. And so it looks like 71 grams is how much I put in. I'm just writing that on the lid so I have some kind of context later. And so 71 grams. And then this is my ground beef. I have one of these that's a 93% ground beef. And it's supposed to be 2.25 ounces. So how many grams? It's like it says 36 ounces. Anyway, whatever it is, we're putting it in. But this is lean ground beef. So I will be using a larger amount of this. Well, I should have done my eggs before this part, but it'll be all right. All right, so let's see. Let's crack it. I'm going to do 2 eggs. So there's 1. 2. Okay. So now we're going to mix it all together here. I'm going to do, I like the way, like I said, I've never done meatballs on my own. And so I like the way, and the reason why I did, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of work just for some little balls. And, but the way Lori made hers look like such an easy thing, that's why I'm willing to try it today. But I don't want them to just be raw in the freezer because, I meal prep. So I want mine to be mostly cooked. So then all I have to do is pull them out and microwave them. And my sister, she cooks them. I had her tell me she does 8 minutes on one side. She bakes them at 350. And then after 8 minutes, she flips them and does them for 5.5. And she said that gives them enough firmness. So then that way she can refreeze them. And then whenever she's ready to use them, she will then do, when she's ready to use them, she can pull them out and put them in a crock pot. Or, like if she wants to have meatballs for her family, she'll do them in a crock pot. But this is the key. This is the piece right here that I was like, man, I gotta scoop them out and do something fancy. But Lori FNM Lifestyle, evidently her channel, it used to be Fluffy No More, so that helps me remember. Lori FNM Lifestyle, she was the one that demoed this trick of not even having to roll them out, just putting them like this with her cookie cutter. So Lori, thank you. Like I said, I've always wanted to make meatballs, but I never have because whenever I made them with my sister, she did not use a cookie cutter. And so I was like, man, that's a lot of work. I don't want to do all that. But this does not seem like a lot of work. Just kind of mushing it into the little dealie. So we're going to see how this goes. And I'll get back to you whenever I'm done with them. All right, this is the last one. They're definitely cramped, but hopefully they'll shrink up, and if they stick together, they'll come apart eventually. It'll be all right. So my oven just beeped that it's 350 degrees. So I'm going to do it for 8 minutes is what my sister said. And I will be back in 8 minutes. Well, those are in the oven. I have these thick cut pork steaks. This is one of the ones when I bought that big old half pork loin that I cut into thick chops. We're going to go on and season them up, and I'm going to do like I did with that one meal where I did, I pre-seared it and then I put it in the oven to finish cooking at 350. I already have a thermometer inside of it. Now I'm just adding the seasonings that I like. You add the seasonings you like. Just a second, I need to grab another one. I added some couple different types of salt and some this one is Creole seasoning. I like that Creole flavor. It's not a spicy flavor, it's just a good flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of the hickory smoked salt. I say a little bit, look at me just plopping it on. I'm going to go ahead and flip these over and do the other side with the exact same seasonings. Okay, the oven timer just went off and said that it is time to flip over my meatballs. Like I said, the sister who, it's funny, I watched Lori F&M and she said there's five men in her house and her. And my sister who does the meatballs, she has 2 boys and she's the one whose husband passed away. All right, I'm getting a glove. But anyway, so she had to feed 3 men for a long time. So I guess meatballs is definitely something that is good when you have a household of men. So it's kind of funny. These are very soft and they're not burning me. It's been 8 minutes, so I'm probably going to do 8 minutes on this other side too, even though my sister said she does 5.5 minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and do 8 minutes because I want them to be much further along than what they are now. My sister said that she does them 8 minutes and then 5.5 minutes, and that's enough to freeze them. But I want mine to be much more cooked. So I'm going to put these back in, and Ziggy, oven timer, 8 minutes.
Oven timer, 8 minutes.
So we're going to check those in 8 minutes. In the meantime, let's go on and get our pork chops seared up. My plan is I'm just going to sear them in this and then put the whole skillet down into the oven. So, there they are. Sorry. All right. So I'm going to let them sear for about 4 minutes and then we'll flip them. I set the internal target for the meter thermometer as 135. I know 145 is ideal. I did 135 so that way it'll be a little on the more rare side. And then, as I microwave it for work, it'll be perfect. Look at that. Look at that right there. He says, come on, woman. Just give me one drop. Drop one thing. Just drop one thing. Okay. Just want to flip them. Ooh, that looks good. I don't know if I said this already. I did not put the lid on this because I'm not trying to cook the inside of it. I'm just trying to sear the outside. So we're going to do the other side for 4 minutes and we'll be back. Let's take a look at our meatballs. They look okay. Like she said, they would be firm enough that you could freeze them, but they're just not done enough to my liking. So I'm going to do them a little bit longer. I'm going to go 8 more minutes. Ziggy, cancel oven timer.
Oven timer cancel.
Ziggy, oven timer, 8 minutes.
Oven timer, 8 minutes.
Because I do want them to be more done than what she typically has hers. And these have about 1.5 minutes left. Okay, 16 seconds and these will be done. Yeah, that looks good. So now I'm just going to take this whole skillet and put it down in my oven until the thermometer tells me that it's all the way done. Let me see how much time it says that it has done left to go. So right now it says it's 116 degrees. So and the goal is 130. So we will see how long it takes. Let me turn off this burner and put it down in here with the meatballs, and it's going to tell me when it's done. Okay, bye. Okay, the timer went off and said that the pork chops are done. So I'm going to pull them out and just let it sit right here and let it cool down. And the meatballs are going. Whoa, did you see what I almost did there? The meatballs are still going, so I'm going to let these chill while the meatballs are going. Okay, the oven timer just went off. So let's see how our meatballs are looking. These look much better. Or this looks much better. More like what I'm thinking. I need to break into one so I can kind of see how it is in the middle. These definitely come apart a little bit too easy. But let me try. Let me just stick in the center of this one. See what I get. So this is something I have always found, and you tell me if you agree. So it looks done enough. I have always found whenever I have cooked, like if I have frozen ground beef, and then I try to make a meatloaf or something like a burger patty out of it, it never fully sticks together. But if I take fresh ground beef that is I buy from the store and never frozen, I can do that. I can make meatloaf and well, obviously I haven't done these, but I can do meatloaf and burger patties all day long and no problem. I'm not really sure why it's like that. But I did the egg. You saw me. I did the egg and the pork panko. It just didn't really stick so good. But that's all right. It is what it is. So now this has cooled down. So I'm going to move you and we're going to cut these up into bite-sized pieces. All right, let's get these served up. Somebody had asked me last time why I seared them before putting them in the oven. And let me just show you. Listen to this top. It's crispy. It gives it a nice crispy sear. And instead of it just all being one soft pork chop. Wait a minute. Hold up. That's on grams. I need it on... no. Pound ounce. Fluid ounce. Milliliters. Nope. Kilograms. Okay. Pound and ounces. Okay. So it just gives it that extra crispiness that's really tasty. And so it just kind of browns it up a little bit and tastes nummy. So I'm going to do about 7 ounces in each one. So might be a little over, might be a little under, but so I'm going to do about 7 ounces of these pork chops. And looks like, I'll tell you how many I get when I'm done. Each of these weighs about 8.6 ounces. So out of those 4 thick pork chops, I got 3 servings of 8.6 ounces. So now I'm going to put the lids on them and put them up. These are the meatballs. I cut into one of them. It's not quite, it's not like perfectly done. It's a little pink in the middle. I'm okay with that because, as we know, I put things in the microwave at work. Something I have an issue with is whenever I freeze my ground beef, and then put it into something like meatloaves or try to make burgers out of it. Even when I use eggs and pork panko, they don't stay tightly packed together once the meat is frozen. If I buy some fresh meat and I bring it home and I use it to make burger patties or a meatloaf, I don't have that problem. I'm not sure why that happens, but if any of you know why it happens, let me know in the comments, because I don't understand why it does that. So we're going to get these divided up and we'll see how many servings we get. And there we go. We have each meatball has about 7 of them. One of them has 8 small ones, and they all weigh about 8 ounces. So that's 8 ounces of 93% ground beef. Since there's 4, each one has half an egg and about like 17 grams of pork panko in them. So that's my meatballs. I did not season them with anything. That way, in the future, I can put pasta sauce on it. I can put barbecue sauce on it. I'm not having to try to figure out, well, what kind of seasoning did I use? What does it have to go with? I can use them however I want to. So those I did not season at all, because meatballs you can incorporate to so many different things. So, meanwhile, on my pork chops, I did season them. So there you go. That's my little mini meat portion of a meal prep. Oh, and that's 7 meals. So that would be, supper for 7 days or lunch for 7 days. So that's how I would use those. So that's 7 meals. So that's 1 meal for a week.